So we're joined by Miss Black Mississippi USA LeCourtney Young. We thank you so much for joining us. Even though you're obviously a great beauty queen, so much knowledge in the finance and real estate fields, as well as just life in general. We got a room full here with us at Velma Jackson High School. It's our personal finance class. We're recording this for all of our friends in Madison County Schools, Madison Central, Ridgeland High School, Germantown High School, the Academic Options Center, and our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for fitting us in your tight schedule.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me again, actually. I really did enjoy the first time I was able to speak with your previous class. So to have me on again is very exciting.
Absolutely. Let me tell you. Before we get into all you've done and some things about real estate and personal finance, just tell us about your background. You're from Port Gibson, went to Jackson State, so just tell us about kind of your education background and all the career pivots you've made.
Oh my gosh. So I am from Port Gibson. Um, Grew up in Port Gibson, and I was my high school queen my senior year. So I would say my senior year of high school was amazing. It was a great experience, but it did prepare me for the next steps, which was college. Well, I entered from Fort Gibson High 1999 into Jackson State University in 1999. But however, originally, when I was in high school, I grew up only wanting to attend one school. So this is going to be a little an amazing story, you all. So I grew up wanting to only attend one school, and that was Spelman College. So by the time I started learning about Spelman College, I was like, I want to go to Spelman, and I only applied to Spelman. And so the only reason why I applied to one other school is because they kept saying, well, you need to apply to at least one other school. I'm like, but I know I want to go to Spelman. Why would I apply? So I only applied to one other school, which was Mississippi School for Women, I believe, University for
Yeah.
Women, I believe it was at that time. And that was the only other school. And so you all, I got to Spelman that summer to visit the campus, and I was going to major in criminal justice because I grew up saying I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be an attorney. And that is what I stuck with you all the way to my senior year of high school. And so that summer, I went to Spelman. My mom and I, my dad stayed back home because he had to work. So my mom and I went to Spelman, and I walked around the campus, and I was like, I'm not as excited as I thought I was gonna be, Mom. And I was like, I think I want to go to Jackson State. And my mother did not hesitate because my mother attended Jackson State. My older brother attended Jackson State. So she was excited to hear that. She didn't ask me no questions. She hardly asked me, are you sure? And so she said, really? You sure? I'm like, yes, I want to go. But I realized why. So when I was a senior in high school as Miss Port Gibson High, Jackson State University invited queens out to the school during the homecoming year that year, and we dined or we brunched with the Miss Jackson State at that time in the court. And it was a wonderful experience. So I went to that campus, and it was homecoming week. So I didn't realize it until I walked on Spelman campus that memory had stuck with me, what it felt like
Wow.
being on Jackson State campus and the tour that they gave us and the excitement that I saw with all the different students that was on campus, that was still there in me. And I didn't realize until I walked on Spelman campus. And I said, I want to go experience that. So I attended Jackson State from 1999 and graduated in 2003, but I changed my major to education. So I did 1 year of education, and I was like, Mom, I want to be a teacher. And I discovered that I actually wanted to be an entertainer. I wanted to be an actress. So I told my mom, to be an actress. And she was like, girl. But she helped me. And we discovered that there was a performing arts, theater um, degree that I could get at Jackson State. So I majored in speech communications, dramatic art, and that's what I ended up graduating in 2003. And I became an actress, and I've been acting for over 20 years. Excuse me, for over 20 years now. Well, 4 years ago, right before COVID, actually, 2019, in December 2019, I became licensed as a real estate agent because over my course of my life, you all, even after college, even though I was acting, doing something that I was passionate about, there were other things that I ended up doing throughout my life. So I ended up going back into teaching as a reading coach and a music teacher. So I ended up going back into the school, but I continued to act, and then I started my own companies because I realized I wanted to operate my own company. So I went back and got my master's at Belhaven University. I got my master's in business administration. And so I created and founded my own performing arts company and private tutoring company. So all the way up from 2015 to 2020, I operated my own private tutoring company and my performing arts company, but I knew I still wanted to be a real estate professional. So I pursued real estate and I became licensed in 2019, which was perfect because COVID hit and I could not operate my other companies. I was unable to act because everything halted, but I was able to use my license as a real estate professional to carry on throughout my life. Well, to be able to pivot in my life to something that was still providing me income, but also being able to help others and to help, individuals and families to become homeowners and to sell their homes. So here I am. And so recently this year, I was able to represent my hometown as Miss Blackport Gibson in the Miss Black Mississippi USA pageant. And I end up winning that title of Miss Black Mississippi 2025. So here I am with you all this morning.
That's awesome. Now, you mentioned a couple of things I wanted to hit on real quick. If kids aren't familiar, Spelman University or Spelman College is in Atlanta. It's a HBCU, all girls school, and they do offer a lot of great degrees. I have several high school classmates that went to Spelman, and they had great experiences. But I think it's important. Just because somebody has one experience, good or bad, doesn't mean that's going to be yours. So, as kids
Absolutely.
decide where they want to go to college, I think it's very important, like you did, visit the place, see if you'd be a good fit. Just because your friends would
Mhm.
be a good, or because some celebrity or somebody went there, doesn't necessarily mean that's the best place for you.
Exactly. That's it, you all. The thing about it, I had to put my phone on silent. The wonderful thing about life is that you get to walk on your own individual journey, right? You get to decide what's right for you, what's best for you, right? That's the great thing. And the other amazing thing about life is that you get to pivot as many times as you feel you need to pivot in your life to create the life you truly, really desire for yourself. So you may start walking one journey, and as you're going, you're realizing that it's actually guiding you into something totally different than what you started out with that you wanted to do. And it's okay. It's okay to discover in your life, well, I actually rather do this than that. Or I also would like to do this while I am doing this. I go by the notion that you can live life doing everything that's in you to do. No one ever told us that we had to do one thing in life. No one told me, my mother, my father, teachers, no one ever, well, some people did. I hear people say all the time, choose one thing and concentrate on one thing. Well, for me, it's multiple things that bring me joy. And I learn how to manage those things and operate in my life, those things that are fulfilling for me.
Big time. And you mentioned one other thing about performing arts at Jackson State. I'm friends with Mark Henderson, the director of Mad
Yeah.
Drama at Jackson State, and I encourage everybody, if you've never seen them, they are absolutely unbelievable. But
Yes.
everybody in Mad Drama is not a drama major. Everybody in the Sonic Boom is not a music major. Everybody in these
Yes.
performing art groups at these schools are not music majors. So I encourage everybody. We have a couple kids in here that are in the band. Even if they don't want to be a music major, they can go still be a part of that in college. Not
Can.
only do they get a well-rounded experience, they can get scholarship money, but it builds their network. They get to meet people, and when they do graduate, that may one person may have one degree, you may have another one, but you met while you were in the band, while you were in the drama group, and that is
Yes.
somebody that you can have as a business network for the rest of your life.
Yes. Believe it or not, I grew up from elementary. I started fifth grade learning to play the saxophone. So I played the saxophone from fifth grade all the way to my senior year of high school. And actually my junior year of high school, because my senior year of high school, I was my band's, I was the majorette. We called us the drum majorette instead of the drum majors because we were females, we were the drum majorettes. So I led my high school band at my senior year of high school, but I did not I wasn't in the band in college. I decided that I wanted to do the other aspects of me, which was dance and singing and performing. So I was on the basketball dance team. I had actually a 4 year music scholarship in choir. So I grew up singing, so I was able to get a full scholarship in choir. So I was in the choir and of course in theater. I'm to this day I miss playing my saxophone, but that's just to give you an over all idea of how life, can shift you and how you can make choices and decisions that's fulfilling for you. So you may be in the band now, but you may not, like you said, major in it, but you can still participate. You can still be a part of those things, of those organizations and activities in the schools.
Big time. Now, I know you've recently been crowned Miss Black, Miss Black
Yeah.
Mississippi USA, and one of your platform has been home ownership in the Black community. So
Yes.
I have kids all the time tell me about how they want to own a home, they want to own a business, they want to own land, but they don't have any idea how to get started. So
Absolutely.
how can a kid in high school start preparing to take that step, start making good financial decisions to be able to have that home that they see on TV that they want?
Absolutely. This is the perfect time to learn this information because a lot of us who are maybe 35 and older, I'm 40, I'll be 44 Monday, you all, but a lot of us did not get this information that you all get to get right now at this age. We didn't learn and truly understand until we got into our adult life. So start off on the right track. And the right track is when you go out into the real world as an adult, things start to carry on throughout your life. Your credit score, right? How much income you're bringing in monthly matters to become a homeowner, right? So it really, at your age, I need you to really, really make certain that you don't fall into debt and you don't start life off in the wrong direction when it comes to managing your money and keeping your credit score where it needs to be. To be a homeowner, factors that play in you being able to get approved for your home mortgage loan is your credit score. And we like for your credit score to be at least 640 above, at least 640 above. 580, we have lenders that can work with you, but at least 640 above. The higher, the better, of course. I just had a buyer who was her credit score is in the 800s, and the lender's like, you have so many options. What do you want to choose? So, of course, the better or the higher, the better your credit score is, you have more options. So when you go out, don't start applying for all of these different credit cards and not using them correctly. Because see, you can get credit because credit is everything. You can get credit, but it's utilizing it correctly. So don't get a credit card and just start swiping and swiping because you don't have to immediately use your own cash to pay. Think about every time you swipe your credit card, you have to pay it back with your cash. Think about it like that. So when you're using your credit cards, when you as 18-year-olds, you can go ahead and get your credit card, but use it right. So the way I tell my clients is when you use your credit card, within the next, if you can't put back on that credit card within the next 24 to 48 hours what you spent from that credit card, then that means you're overutilizing that credit card. Okay? You're overutilizing that credit card. So don't swipe it over the amount that you're able to pay it back. And don't, go in thinking, oh, I just have to pay the minimum of amount balance and I'm fine. If you can keep your credit card where you're utilizing at least 80% of that card, 30% of that card, you're able to pay back 80% of that card before, the payment is due, you're good. That means you're using that card good. So that's what I need you all to concentrate the most. How are you utilizing your credit when you do get credit cards? How are you utilizing your credit cards? That's going to play a major role. So don't go out there applying for so many different things, but you can't keep up with the payments, because that's where a lot of us adults at this age fall victim. We use those cards because, especially when you go into college, let's talk about that. When you go into college, they're going to let you know you can get this credit card, you can get this credit card, but don't. I was able to come out of college with um, a great credit score of 800, and I was able to maintain it really throughout my adult life until a few years ago, which was around that COVID time, because I never really used credit, like credit cards, but when I did, I just paid them back. So I never had to deal with that problem. Well, of course, you're around COVID, you're not really bringing in as much income as you're bringing in, but you have your credit card. So you're like, well, I got to swipe my credit card. And so I was swiping my credit card, but I was unable to make those payments back as fast as I was used to making those payments. So I'm giving you a real life example of how easy it is. And so now I've had to correct that year of swiping my credit card, and I was unable to pay it back like I was normally used to being paid. So that's, if I can give you the best advice going into the real world from this age, is how you handle your credit cards.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And I've talked about this. I know they're probably sick of it, but it really is amazing. These college campuses, they'll have a whole line of tables trying to throw them at you, saying get a free t-shirt if you sign up for a credit card. Or when you go to the store, get 25% off today if you sign up for a credit card. And it is just incredible how much of a racket these credit cards have turned into. And they're preying on people that just see the quick, I can spend this right now.
Yeah, they get you. They really do, because at that age, you absolutely can get you can qualify for credit cards because you're starting out fresh. So yes, you can get them, but if you do, just utilize them correct. Just utilize them correctly. That is the biggest tip I can give you at this age. But as you carry on throughout your adult life, here are the things that and you actually can become a homeowner by 21 if you start off at 18 on the right in the right direction, because to get approved for your loan you need to have at least 2 years of work experience. So you need to have been able to provide 2 years of your tax return. So that means you need to have been working a steady job. A steady flow of income has to be coming into you monthly for at least 2 years. So you have to provide those documents. The financial documents are your last 2 year tax returns, your last 2 year W-2s from your job, and then your last 3 months bank statements and your last 3 month check stubs. So if you can remain at your parents' home, because not every one at 18 wants to go directly into college. You may want to go directly into work, right?
Yeah.
So get 2 years, stay at home with your parents, but those 2 years work. Go work and tell your parents, mom, dad, I'm gonna, hang out here for 2 years after graduating high school. But while I'm here, I'm gonna get up every day. I'm gonna go to work, but I'm gonna save this money so I can become a homeowner. And sometimes you may be the first of your family to be able to become a homeowner, because sometimes we're in areas where we grew up renting and all those things. We grew up in a rental, and that's okay because you still had your home, you still had someone to, but some of us have the desire to become homeowners. So this is what you have to do to become that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned bank statements too, because having a Cash App card is not having a bank. Um,
Please, yes.
definitely, a Venmo, Cash App, they definitely have their place, and I think they're convenient for a lot of things. I use them, but that's not where my paycheck is going every month. So
Absolutely.
having that bank history, having that bank relationship is also vital when it comes to trying to get loans or trying to get any type of credit that you may need for a business or land or a home.
Absolutely, you all. So definitely listen to what he's just said, because that is one thing that some, especially for my entrepreneurs, for those that work for themselves and they receive money through their Cash App and all, we can't use that. We can't use money that's flowing in from your Cash App. It has to be money flowing into a bank account. So even if you have Cash App, let Cash App be where you just receive money here and there, or you sending money, but let your money go into your bank account. Like, get a bank account so you can have a good, legitimate trail of where your money is flowing to and coming from.
Man, I cannot tell you how important it is for all of them to understand that now. But I do have some questions from the students. And these are really good. This first
Great.
one is the first one is Levon Johnson. He's a sophomore, and he asked, "What is the number one thing that you've seen that kills credit scores?"
Exactly what I just said. The number one thing that, I mean, what I said earlier, the number one thing that kills credit scores, how you're utilizing your credit cards. You're not utilizing credit. A lot of people don't understand that credit, it plays a big part in your credit score. That means, how are you using your credit? When you get a loan, when you get money, when you borrow money, are you paying that back? Are you paying it back on time? That is what's going to pull your score down if you're not paying on time and you're not paying it back. They didn't give it to you. It wasn't a grant that you don't have to pay back. It is a loan. You are borrowing that money. That is the number one thing that pulls your credit score down.
Big time. And you can try to hide all you want. They're gonna find a way to get it eventually. This is Edward Flowers. He's in 10th grade. He's a member of our band, and he asked, "If you're in high school and wanting to start working, what is the most efficient way to start managing your money?"
Beautiful, beautiful. The number one efficient way to start managing your money is to open a bank account. Now, when you open that bank account, then go ahead and a percentage. There are you don't even have to even start a savings, but that would be great. But there are ways that you can start saving a percentage of the income that you bring in. There are different savings accounts, and there are different services that are provided, and there are even different apps that are provided that you can have money that's going to immediately come out of what you make for that month. So, for instance, I have one, and 10% of the income, whatever hits my bank account, it's going to automatically pull 10% out for me. I don't ever see it. I don't ever, like, I don't miss it because they pull it out immediately. And so I only receive what comes to me, and I use that. And before I know it, when I get my reports from that savings, I see, oh, I've saved $1,000 this month, or I've saved $1,000 in the last 2 months, or oh, now it's about $3,000 that I've saved. And you get tempted when you see how much you saved that's sitting over there, because you have to request, and you have to request to pull that savings out. So that's a great way to manage your money and start saving early, because guess what? I end up having this year to go into my savings for something that came up that I needed to pay for. And that savings helped me to get that paid because I had been saving. So open a bank account, open your bank account, and then also be disciplined. So one thing that I tell my clients, especially when they know that they're ready to become a homeowner, so I have this joke that I give them, and I say, but I'm so serious. Pay your bills on time. When you make your income, these are your necessities. Pay your bills on time. We got to eat. So we eat, we get our food, but don't go out and, you go out to eat all the time and you swiping your card because you got it, and I say pay your bills on time, your food and gas, because we got to get to work. We got to get to it from. So those are the main things that you absolutely have to make sure you're covering, and you're covering on time your bills. So your bills, food, gas. And I always say, when you are shopping and things, shop for what you need, not for what you want. That's when your mind is set that you're ready to become a homeowner. You have to be disciplined, because that lender is going to look at how much income are you bringing in? How much do you have, sitting in your bank account? Because they want to see how much house you can afford. They're only going to give you the amount of money that they see that you can afford.
Big time. I got time for one more. This is Shania Smith. She's in 10th grade, one of our volleyball players here. And she asked, what the hardest part about your job?
The hardest part, it's fun. First of all, being a real estate professional is so exciting. It's so rewarding to be able to work with my clients from the beginning to the closing and hand them their keys. So I want to give you first, the most exciting thing is to know I have the skill set, the ability to help people become homeowners, and the joy on their face when they get the keys in their hands, or when they sell their homes, or when they get their first investment property. So the hardest thing is when I do connect with individuals and I have to tell them they have to wait, because all those things that I just told you that you have to do so that you can become a homeowner, I now have to get them going in the right direction before they even can be connected with a lender. So that is the only thing that is hard to tell a client when they say, I'm ready to become a homeowner. And I have to say, okay, well, looking at your credit score and, all these other factors, we're going to have to wait. But the great thing is that I can redirect them and get them going in the direction they need to go in, so they can be in position. And we come back maybe 2, 3 months, sometimes 6 months, and sometimes a year. But once you connect with me, I absolutely can make sure you're going in the right direction if I have to give you the bad news that we can't right now. So that's the only hard part about being a real estate professional, honestly, having to tell someone we can't start now, but I'm able to let them know when.
Man, I tell you, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm too much of a pushover, and these kids know that. We're almost out of time, and we thank you as always for taking some time for us. But before we go, a couple of things. First of all, I'd like for everyone to follow your journey to become Miss Black USA. Your Instagram has got some great stuff on it for us to see all your updates. It's .LeCourtney at Instagram there, and
Yes.
also has all your links to your businesses. Anybody wants to utilize that, so I think you're a great Instagram follow. So I'd encourage everybody to see what all you have going and to pull for you as you try to get the next crown as a great representative of our state.
Come
Um,
on, Mississippi. Let's get the Miss Black USA crown. I need your support.
Uh, but before we go, me and you are about the same age, and I agree. People did not take the time to sit and talk to us about this while we were in high school. But it's so important for these young people now to understand. They see these dreams on social media and TikTok and TV and things they want to accomplish. But it starts with making good financial decisions now while they're in high school. So why is it so important to be familiar with these financial concepts as they get ready to transition out of high school?
So important. Let me tell you all something. We did not have everything that we have at our fingertips now. We did not have that. We did not have that at your age. We didn't have Google. We started finally with AOL. That was the beginning, and we learned how to log onto the internet, but the internet did not have an abundance of information that it has now. It did not have it when we first started. We learned, oh, what is this computer? AOL? So we didn't have that. So the fact that you have YouTube, Google, I need whatever it is, whatever, if your teacher can't answer the question, Google and YouTube can answer it. The answer is right there. It is a click away. So go on there, because there are many people that have channels that actually teach you everything you need to know about finances, about how to save, how to, it's the how to's are there. So utilize that. Go on Google, go on YouTube, and whatever question you have, ask that question, and I guarantee you the answer will be there. So much you can learn other than what the teachers are teaching you, other than what your parents are teaching you. There is so much information there for you.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you so much for taking some time for us. I learn something every time you're with us, and we are definitely pulling for you to bring home that next crown. LeCourtney Young, right here in the Jackson area, Miss Black Mississippi USA 2025 or 2024. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you all for having me. Have a wonderful day and a great school year.
All right. Talk to you soon, buddy.
Bye bye.